A, B, C. A always B, B, C closing. Always be closing.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Another episode, Scare Money, Don't Make Money. As always, it's your favorite recruiter's favorite recruiter, your boy Cam. And as always,
it's your boy Roy, and it's still up for debate if you're somebody's favorite recruiter's favorite recruiter.
Don't let him play you. He told me that shit yesterday. Anyway, anyways, before we get started, as always, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I just created a TikTok. We got Clubhouse. Yep, Roy barely knew we had a Twitter until about a month and a half ago. So we out here, man. But anyways, we have a very special guest for you. Also, our first international guest, my man Matt. So I'm gonna please introduce yourself. Tell them where you're from, what you're about, man, and we'll get things going.
Yeah, so my name is Matthew. I live in Scotland, originally from South Africa, having lived abroad in London, Dubai, obviously South Africa, and now settled in Scotland. I am what Cam will call a civvy recruiter. So I recruit predominantly for the food and drinks and fast moving industry. So anything from packaging, food manufacturing, drinks, down to containers, mid to senior management up the way. Mentor and pretty clued up on LinkedIn as well.
So I met Matt because we were in a mutual Facebook group. And was it the Facebook? It was the Headhunter, page,
yeah.
right? Yep. So we're in so many. So Roy's small story for you, Matt, before I tell you about that, is Roy's the one that actually put me onto that page. He had found it. I forgot how. And this kind of started our journey because about 2 years ago, he found the page. And that's like I was kind of telling you, I realized, man, we're at like a disadvantage here. Like we don't know anything that's going on. And so anyways, that's where I met you, which is crazy, 2 years now from when we found that page to begin with. Trying to get on Clubhouse. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get you on, but you got on, so which is good. I was going to tell you too, I was thinking about it. The invitation disappeared in my thing. Like, it'll tell you like pending invitations.
Yep.
I don't know if maybe they recognize it just wasn't happening. I don't know.
Well, did you get it back?
I mean, I keep getting invitations no matter what. Brilliant. I have, yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but they just keep giving them to me. As soon as I get down to one, it's like, you just got 5. And I was like, I bet. Who wants to cut? You get an invite. You get an invite. You get an invite.
So resets all over again.
What's that?
I said it just resets all over again because you're
pretty
passing
much.
them out.
I feel like every week I'm like, if anybody needs a Clubhouse, just call me.
Cam's your man.
I'm your guy. I'm the guy with the plan. Well, people, not to get off top, but people are charging for these things. Like, I've looked on Reddit and people are no shit. Like, if you want a Clubhouse invite, my Cash App is da. I'll send the invite within 24 hours.
$250 I've seen.
Why am I not?
Wait. Hold on. Wait. $250?
$250 for an invite. I was just like, no.
I don't even think that's the max I've heard, bro. Like, but yes, people are like, they're selling them, homie. And so, but anyways, so, Matt, tell us kind of, first off, living in South Africa, that's got to be amazing. Also completely different, obviously, because we're in America. And so, and where did that transition come? Like, when did you move from South Africa? When did you leave? Like, and what sparked that? Was it the recruiting gig or, how did that work?
Yeah, so I was born and bred in South Africa, finished my schooling in South Africa, and I went into the restaurant trade, became a chef, thoroughly enjoyed that. And I thought that's where I wanted to take my career, and I sort of hit a ceiling. And just one day I decided I just wanted to go over to the UK just for holiday. So I phoned my brother up. I said, listen, I'm going over to the UK. This is November. I said, on the 21st of March, I'm going over for 2 years. Do you fancy it? I just hear him shouting over to his boss, I'm resigning in 2 months' time. So he, next thing I know, we're both on a plane in the UK. And that's where where I fell in love with recruitment, because when I came over, I had nothing, no job, nowhere really to turn to. And I went to an Offers Angels kind of business, which is for part-time and temping work for travelers.
Okay.
And I went over there, and the level of service I received was terrible, but I just knew these guys were making money off me. And I was like, how can people make money off of the service? You're just a bums on the seats. And I thought I wanted to try something different. But at the time, I was a very heavy lad, to be fair, and my weight was against me. And I just couldn't get in until a company took a chance on me. And ever since there, I just fell in love with recruiting, and just I'm a bit advocate of recruiter. Whenever it tells me what I do, I'm very proud of it. And I think if you're the right individual and you've got the right drive and determination, it's something that can set you up for life, and you can set people up for life as well.
For sure. I mean, I'm not a chef, and I mean, I'm heavy, so I couldn't imagine if I knew how to cook really good food. This is all top ramen right here, baby.
But you never trust a skinny chef, though.
Never trust a skinny chef. Everyone had to trust me because I ain't skinny.
You were like, I have the veil of trust.
I taste my own food. I'm still living.
Like, why are table times so long at Matt's restaurant? Well, it's because he usually eats the first serving. That'd be me. I'd be like, everything's gone. So when the company took the chance on you, was it a recruiting company that took a chance on you?
Yeah, so it was a recruiting company which had just formed themselves about a year before, and they were looking for individuals that they could take a chance on. When you work in a recruitment company, and it's like myself, I've started Protea Recruitment myself. The biggest challenge you can do is take an individual on, because then you're responsible for someone. You're responsible for someone's wages. You're responsible for someone's family. It's not just you're just taking someone on. There's such a broad spectrum to go with it. And the company looked for someone that was cheap enough, let's be honest, but someone they felt were going to give everything they could. And by that time, I'd been applying for maybe 8 or 9 recruitment companies and been knocked back every time because I didn't have experience, that they could see the determination in me, that I wanted to do well, that I wanted to build, that I wanted to make this work. That when they took a chance on me, they themselves were recruiting in the food manufacturing industry. So I already had the passion for food. I already had an understanding of how food was produced from its beginning, from its concept, and through to the end results. So I understood all that, and obviously they could see by my size as well. So that all came into fruition and all came together and clicked in.
I know this.
Food is my heart. Food surrounding my heart. That it all just clicked in, kind of thing. And they're like, we want you, we'll take a chance on you. And I was there for 15 years.
Man. So that's something I think we talked to, what is it? I think when we had DSP on the show, I think we talked about recruiting seems to be like one of those like misfit jobs. Like the people who like you said, like who are applying for all these different places, like me, like I had a lot of trouble early on in my career in the military. I don't want to, I mean, Roy's not much of a misfit, but if you were to like look at face value of like, I would say probably where you came from, when you joined the military, I know you always mess around with your scores and stuff like that, Roy, but he has literally become one of the top recruiters like in the Air Force. And so like, and the same goes for kind of the both of us. I'm a little bit different, but the same thing is, at face value, before I came into recruiting, I started to come up, but I think recruiting really allowed me, like you said, to show what my worth was. And that kind of seems to be a lot of the stories with very successful recruiters is they were given the opportunity to really show what they could do.
Yeah, recruitment for a lot of people is just a stopgap. It's just another sales job. I mean, I don't think they understand the fundamentals of a recruiter, where your job is to try improve people's lives. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis. Every call I make, I need to make sure that call adds value to my life and adds value to the person's life that I'm calling. Because if I'm going to change their life, I want to make sure that I'm changing their life for the better. I don't want to uproot any father or any mother from their family, and 2 months down the line they regret everything, and that lies on me, because I haven't done my due diligence, I haven't done my role. And you get recruiters that will last 14, 15 months somewhere, make a shed load of money, and walk off and go somewhere else. But there's no loyalty. And you mean I've got a conscience. You mean, and as a recruiter, it's very difficult to recruit and have a conscience, because the two of them are so close together. And if your conscience overlies the sales, you will miss out on sales. But I'd far rather miss out on the sales and know I've done a damn good job for someone, both clients and candidate, than force that sale through, get my $5,000 or $6,000 in the bank account and not care and walk off. That's just not the kind of recruiter I want to be, or that I advocate.
Yeah. And that's something I think really brought me and Roy together when we started recruiting, because he was my trainer. I don't know if I told you that. When I came into recruiting, he was my trainer, showed up. For those of you that haven't heard the story, obviously you haven't heard the story, Matt, but he showed up. He was late to begin with. He was late to begin with.
It was traffic.
There's traffic. And, I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. I'm in my dress uniform. I'm like, I'm going to get trained today. I'm so excited. And here he comes, throws up the door. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm late. And he's wearing a tracksuit with a gold chain.
Awesome.
And he's like, let me change real quick. And I'm just like, okay, this is my trainer. But
a great rapport.
But I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, I can mess with this guy, because as you know, Matt, like, I'm pretty loose. I'm just like, I'm a person, you're a person. Like, let's not act like we're all freaking perfect, right? And so, but that's where me and Roy really leveled out, is because we both had that mentality where we were 100% prepared to miss the mark if it meant that we never ruined somebody's life.
Yeah.
So I would tell somebody I did it yesterday, actually. A girl wanted to join. She's actually going to school in Florida, but she lives in California. She's like, oh, I want to join the Guard now. That way I can get the process started. And I said, well, aren't you moving in 6 months? And she's like, well, yeah. I said, you don't need to join with me. I was like, it's only going to make your life harder. Like, you should call the Florida recruiter, join in Florida. It'll be way smoother process for you. Like, and she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, it sounds weird, right? Me telling you not to join right now. And she's like, well, yeah. And I was like, that's because that's how I get down. I don't need to put you in the Guard just to be another number, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what has made me and Roy, and obviously you, successful, is, like you said, there's a conscience to it, right? And you have to listen to it.
I mean, he said it like, it's like understanding. It's a twofold: understanding the client, understanding the candidate, like, and where you're trying to put people. Like, if you really sit down and try to listen and understand. I mean, I'm very open. Like, I tell people, like, hey, this is what it is. This is the thing. But based off of what you're telling me, this may not be the best fit for you. This may not work out for you right here, right now. If something changes, I mean, and something can change within 24 hours. But if you real life just try to take the time and understand both sides, you'll be okay.
Yeah,
I think that the hardest thing is trying to get the candidate to convince you, and that's what I like doing. So the candidate needs to convince me what they want. I could sell ice to an Eskimo, sand to the Arabs, no problem. That's exactly what I do. You know what I mean? I'm a salesman through and through. However, I need people to convince me that they want that. That's the reason why I need to be putting them forward. Because if my job it was only to sell, I can put people in the wrong places all the time. Tell me what you want. Tell me how you want to progress. Tell me what your future looks like, and I'll work on that.
Yeah, I thought about that this morning. I'm gonna do a LinkedIn video about it. Is I don't sell benefits. I sell perspective. The perspective that whatever I have is going, like you said, it will affect your life in a positive way. That, and I was thinking about that, and I always say it, but like I actually put it like kind of in terms that would make sense to most people this morning while I was working out. And you're right, and that's exactly what it is I don't sit here and tell you like this money's going to change your life. This, these education benefits, they're amazing. What you can do with those benefits is really what's going to change your life. But you have to take advantage of them. So like you said, so I say, what are you going to do with those benefits? Oh, I want to go to school. That's cool. What do you want to go to school for?
Yeah.
Well, I want to go to school for this. Okay. What's the plan once you go to school for that? And it's funny because I feel like a life counselor sometimes. And it's funny when I have the parents and they're looking at me like, he has more questions than I do. And I'm like, that's right. That's right, Dad.
But you know what's crazy though? Once you start doing that, you actually start helping them either plan a roadmap or you kind of open up their eyes and be like, wow, like I never thought that far ahead. Like something as simple as like, I want to go into the medical field. Like doing what exactly? Like,
Because it sounds cool.
like, cause it sounds cool. Like the medical field, like what you wanna look at hearts, you wanna play with somebody's feet in podiatry. I
Ooh,
mean,
no feet.
like, and then like, but to them, they start to realize and understand, like, oh, like I really didn't think that far ahead. Like, yeah, like might want to have a little bit more perspective onto why you want to work in the medical field.
Yeah. I have a
But that's
joke
our
where I try
job.
and convince people not to join. I'm like, you don't want to do this. And they're like, no, I really do. I'm like, no, you don't.
Tell me
And then they
why.
start convincing you.
Yeah, like Matt said, like then they're like, well, no, I really want to do it because then I can, and that's one of the things I think like you and I talked about, Matt, when that is one of the things that Roy and I love about recruiting is like the psychology of it, right? Is like, why is it that, when you tell somebody they can't have it, they just want it more. Like
Yeah.
those things are so crazy.
The big thing is that we are changing people's lives. We're creating a brand new road, a
Yeah.
brand new path for them, whether
Yeah.
it be a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, or a 15-year plan. We changing their course
Yeah.
of history, and it sounds quite daunting and dramatic. But at the end of the day, if they take our job, it will either make them or break them. And it's
Yeah.
our job to make sure that it makes them because it's such a small industry, regardless of where you recruit. People know anyone else. And if
Yeah.
you've broken the cycle of that success, I feel bad as an individual, but other
Yeah.
people hear it as well. So you have to be willing to stand your ground, take the no's, take the hits, take
Yeah.
the abuse almost, knowing that you've stood to your morals and
Yeah.
you've stood your ground.
No, yeah. I mean, and I'm dealing. I just had my first feedback with well, kind of feedback, but I filled my first position, and it's been about 3 weeks now, I think, since he started. It was a contract job, so he's helping a company with a specific contract. And I remember he messaged me, and I was like, "Oh God, I hope nothing's wrong. Like, did they not pay you? And he's actually he's a hey say Cam. I just want to thank you for the opportunity. Like, it's been amazing. The project's going great. The team's been awesome. And not only that, he's in India, right? So he's an international outsourced
Amazing.
applicant. And so even more why I'm scared because like time differences, language barriers, things like that. But he was like you say, he's like, thank you so much. Like, I love the project. It's been going great, and then obviously I called the client. Um, who's a friend of mine and said, "Hey man, how's it going over there?" And he was like, "Oh, it's going well." And so you're right. I mean, it's you are changing their life, whether it's for the short term or for the long term, and it's something I think really has to be taken seriously if you want to do recruitment long term. Yes, the money can be great, but it shouldn't be a money grab
No. No,
by any
I do it for the
means.
people. I do it because I get a Christmas card saying thank you very much for
Yeah.
making my Christmas.
Yeah.
Even people that were just unemployed before Christmas, they've got a job, they bought their kids something for Christmas, they've got a roof over their head, and you get a thank you card. That's worth more than the fee. I know it doesn't pay my bills, but in
Yeah.
my heart, it's worth more. Morally, it's so much more
No,
than
yeah.
that fee.
100% agree. So let's talk about how you started your business literally right before the pandemic.
Ooh.
No shit, right before the pandemic.
Whoa.
So first, let's talk about how you came to the conclusion that you wanted to own your own agency.
So, as I said, I worked for a company for 15 years. I took a year break to set up a food manufacturing recruitment company out in Dubai. Came back, went back to my old employee. You asked me back, and I did it, but the company itself had changed and it became very big very quickly, and I'd missed that small family feel. I then decided to move on. It was time for right, and I joined a small little bespoke business. But again, they were looking for a quick fix, the quick money, the quick movement, and that just wasn't what I was about. I enjoy building rapport, building foundations, and I just knew that I could do it better for myself without the time restraints. So it was the 3rd of February, 2020. I resigned from my company to set up on the 1st of March, and on the 3rd of March, COVID.
Those first 2 days were amazing, though.
Oh, it was the best experience of my life. It was open doors and go visit people, and they're just planning my diary, all visits that I could really want, and everything was there. And all of a sudden, everything was just stuck. But lucky enough, I had some clients that I'd worked with that were very responsive to the way that I worked and knew who I was an individual. And recruitment's all about brand awareness, and it's not about your company brand. It's about your personal brand. It's about your ethos, who you are as a person, how you treat people, how you are treated, and what the respect both ways. And a lot of my clients who I used to work with understood that I went on my way, but my ethos was exactly the same, regardless if I could visit them face to face, or I did a Skype interview, or I did Zoom or Teams, or all these different platforms we have out there. I was always willing to go out there and make their virtual coffee and see how people were. And to be fair, it's been a tough year. I would love to say it's been the easiest year of my life, and business is booming, and I can't take anything else on. But I'm still here as an individual. I'm still here as a person, and my business is still here because I've got the clients that respect me and who I am.
Yeah.
Nice.
And let's talk about your company name and logo. So obviously, the flower behind you is your company logo, correct?
Yeah. So it's a Protea. It's a South African national flower. They grow in hardship, but even in the toughest terrain, they came out blooming in beautiful colors, and they show hope. So there was the meaning of the South African flower being South African. I wanted to bring that, and also the actual meaning of the Protea and how it blossoms during hardships, and how it doesn't allow its environment to get it down. And that's another reason why I've chosen the flower, the Protea flower.
Ooh, that's not even the doggone scare money. That's deep. That's deep.
So,
I mean,
yeah. What are you gonna say?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like that's powerful. Like it just shows like the power of an image. Like when you can explain to people. I mean, just hearing the background of that flower, like that's very powerful. I like it. I'm sorry.
It means a lot
Go
to
ahead,
me.
Cam.
It means a lot to me because it means that if that flower can do it, then so can I.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so, being in the food industry, where has that? Because you're the first international guest we've ever had. You're the first food industry person that we've ever had. So like, how does it work? Like, what I know we've talked about it, but kind of tell people what the type of roles that you fill or the type of companies you work with.
Yeah, so for example, I don't know how big ready meals are there or ready to cook meals, but if you think about if you took a piece of steak and you were to put that steak in the fridge, after 3 days, you either eat it or you chuck it. Yeah, so
Or
now
you let it go to 5 days.
or you could be Cameron let it go to 5 days.
I don't make that much money, Matt.
But if you think about a ready meal, for example, or a microwave meal, if that meal gets made, so it's the process from when it hits from there to it hits the shelf is probably about 7 or 8 days before it hits the shelves, and then it still sits on the shelves for 5 days, and then you've got 3 days to eat it. So now you've got a piece of steak that's 14 days or 15 days old. You ever thought how it lasts that long? How high the people that makes that steak last that long?
Yeah.
So it's about it's to do with preservatives, salt, concept to launch, coming up with the brand new ideas. You know, food is one of those things that cannot be boring. If food is boring, you lose the market. So you've got to keep on being innovative. You've got to see. So right now, my biggest gap in the market is plant-based products like chicken nugget alternatives, or it's like cheesy but vegan cheese. So there's no dairy. So that's where the marketplace is going. All about healthy eating, less carbon emissions, carbon footprints. And that's where the marketplace is going at the moment. So it's that science of how do you make a piece of cheese have the same texture of cheese, have the same taste of cheese, have the same smoothness of cheese, but without having the dairy. Those are the kind of people that I hire with.
So funny story. About 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, my wife tried to trick me and my family and give us fake tater tots. they were cauliflower tater tots, and she didn't tell us though. So we're all sitting around the table, which is already an anomaly to begin with because my family's crazy. Everybody eats wherever they eat, and we're sitting down. We're like, ooh, tater tots! Like we never have tater tots. Like and the kids are excited. And I remember me and my daughter bite into them, and we both just kind of look at each other, and then we look at my wife, and my wife is like, "What is this? What is this buffoonery?" And she was like, "What do you think?" And we're like, "What is this?" And so now it's become a running joke. I called them fader tots. So look at me, those fake tater tots, those fader tots. And so now it's become a thing in our house where if my wife tries to buy tater tots, my oldest will inspect them. Like, are these Are these real? Are these the real ones?
Well, if fake food, not fake food, but food that's no longer. You mean like fake bacon, etc., etc. It's starting to make its mark, and it's starting to get there. I mean, I personally don't know if I'd ever give into the real bacon, 70% salty like I am. You know what I mean? I want that fat and salty.
I want it thick and rich like me, baby.
I want that real deal, so I want that smile.
But you mean I can see the appeal, and I can see the health benefits, and it's I suppose the benefits when it comes to the earth as well. I mean, I'm all for changing new things to improve my quality of life and improve the world as well. And I mean, I know that sounds like a sales pitch, but I really am into that. And if they can make it, just don't call it a burger, because a burger is a burger. I mean, if it's made out of vegetable, it's not a burger. And if it's bacon, it's got to be pork or beef. If it's made out of plants, call it something else. I don't mind trying it, but don't give me fake names.
Slice of plant.
Exactly. Don't trick me with.
This is a patty. This is a plant patty.
When they had like what they call them, like impossible burgers, like it's an impossible burger.
Like, or the
it's impossible to eat.
Right. So there's this one that we were getting from Costco, and it was okay, but it had a weird aftertaste. Like it like the texture was fine, stuff like that. But and even Adrian, she's been trying to eat like healthier in some ways, and we couldn't get with it. What we have switched up, I will say, is we have been doing a lot of cauliflower rice. So my wife's Asian, so we usually eat a lot of rice, and so I was like, man, the carbs are killing me, man. These thick thighs ain't saving no lives, and so we need to eat something healthier. So we switched to cauliflower rice. But we go a little extreme on it because she makes it cheesy cauliflower rice. Hey, still less carbs, y'all. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's
still
still
less
good. I
carbs,
mean,
and it's
have you tried
amazing.
have you tried the cauliflower rice at Chipotle?
No, why would I do that? What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying.
What are you, communist?
Hey.
What's wrong with you?
Hey.
Don't you come here speaking that to me, no.
Just saying, man.
I might have to
good.
kick you out this damn show coming at me with that damn cauliflower rice. Man, you get the lemon rice, and if you're feeling froggy, you get the brown rice. But come on now, and you get a half serving. You don't ever get a cauliflower rice. What's wrong with you? Correct.
Hey,
It's horrible.
it's good. It's good. Just saying.
So speaking of which, that brings another funny thing. Ketchup on your eggs or no?
Ketchup from the fridge on your
From the
eggs.
fridge on your
Yes.
eggs. Roy, where you at? I
He
know it's
actually
super
makes it
random.
No. He makes a valid point though. Ketchup from the fridge. Like
Yeah.
I can do ketchup from the fridge. Not all the time, but I have done it, and yes, I can do it. Ketchup on eggs is okay. Ketchup on from the fridge though.
Matt, Cam, and Roy approved.
I'm on next week. Yeah.
Next week, we're talking about soy sauce on salad. So where do you see where's most of your business right now? Like,
Yeah, so a lot of my business is obviously based in the UK. However, it's the manufacturing industry itself is growing. I mean, there are a couple of companies in the States I'm looking to get hold of. I'm doing work out in India. I'm doing work in Somalia. I got work in Dubai, Kenya. The one thing about food is everyone needs to eat and everyone needs to drink. And I'm not going to advocate food and say go into food manufacturing, but you mean it's fantastic because it is recession proof. And when people's pockets get hit, they can't afford to go out and eat, but they still want to treat themselves. So why not spend a little bit extra in the supermarket? Why not go to the top supermarket and spend that extra $5 or $10 that you normally spend, but bring home a good beast quality meal? And that's where we come in. We try to take that stress out of your life and just give you that 15, 20 minutes peace from reality that you can enjoy a good meal at home with a good bottle of wine, candles, just the two of you, making a great little date night of it because you can't go out. You can't enjoy yourself.
My 14-day-old steak.
Your 14 days to crawl off the plate itself before you even cook it. Cam, your steak's moving. It's fine.
Fine. Matt said it's good for another 3 days.
What's been one of the biggest challenges that you've been faced with, especially like you said, like you started right before COVID. So I'm pretty sure you had all of these great ideas. Okay, I want to try to do this. I want to try to do that. How did you have to transition and reposition yourself, or did you have to reposition yourself or change up anything that you had planned when COVID hit?
So I went in there to be different. And I know every recruiter probably says the same thing. I'm going to be different. I'm a different recruiter. But I definitely did try to go down that way. I think the biggest problem and the biggest challenges I had is that I'm not able to go out there and sell myself face to face. I'm not out there to go chap on the doors or speak to people on the telephone because there's a lot of people working from home. There's a lot of people that aren't at their desk at the computer. You can pick up the phone and phone them. So the brand awareness and the strategy behind getting my brand out there had slowed down. What it allowed me to do was select 10 or 12 key players and really work with those 10 or 12 key clients, offering them 100% of my service. So when people ask me what it's like being a dad, I say that I'm a 100% of a dad 60% of the time.
Yeah.
And what that means is for 60% of that time, I give my kids 100%. It doesn't mean for 40% I can't give them what I want to, but do I give them, am I a 60% of a dad 100% of the time, or do I want to be 100% of a dad 60% of the time? And I know my kids would rather want the whole of me 60% than only 60% of me for the whole time. And that's sort of how I treat my candidates, my clients now. I'm fully invested in them, but I've only got a small niche amount of them.
Yeah.
So once COVID's over, I may be able to reach out there, go approach another 4 or 5 clients, but I don't think I want to go there and win the world over. I don't think that's the way that I want to recruit, because then I change away what's made me successful over COVID and what clients have been looking for. And maybe this is the new way to recruit. Maybe this is the new way of doing things. And I often say to myself, I'm like a tugboat versus a cruise ship. I still got great pulling power, but I've got the ability to turn accordingly and move according to what my client needs to, where a cruise ship can't turn as quickly. It's massive. It's got all the power behind it, but it's got no flexibility. And I want to be that tugboat approach. I want to be able to have that ability to change.
Yo, Matt has the best of that. So first it's like the flower. Now he's got the
Yes.
tugboat.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
My whole life's built on analogies. My whole life is on analogies.
You should write a book.
A book of
Analogy
analogies.
one.
A book of analogies. That's your next. That's your next thing.
That's
you should, and then you send it to your clients as a conversation starter. You're welcome.
I'm a tugboat. You don't want to be a
15%.
container.
15%. So as far as I also would like you to talk about what we talked about when we were like about your approach when it comes to recruiting, as far as top down. I think that's what you called it, or top down recruiting. Waterfall effect. That's right. Can you elaborate on that? Because I thought that was amazing. I told Roy about it, and I was like, it's just so simple.
So the waterfall effect is probably the best way to describe it, is recruiting from the top down the way. And that means if you're recruiting general managers, you're recruiting CEOs, you're recruiting directors or non-execs, once you're in place there, you then build a trust enough to get that next position down. Yeah. And then you can place that. And then that position becomes 2 positions. And then that position becomes 4 positions down. And then once you're at the bottom, you then recruited that whole waterfall, where if you've ever walked into a waterfall and try to walk up through the waterfall, it's impossible because you constantly have resistance from above. Yeah. You constantly have the CEOs and the MDs and the directors trying to put their weight on, trying to push down the way, trying to get their team up. And no one wants to build a team from down the way, up the way. They want their next member that they have underneath them to be someone that they can trust, someone that they can build on, and then so on and so forth. So I think it's like a waterfall. When you're coming down a waterfall, it's so much easier. There's the path of least resistance than if you're trying to build up the way. Another analogy.
Another analogy. That's a great analogy.
Coming at you live.
Not the analogist.
Hey, he's blown my mind, and he hasn't even been asked the question, Cam.
I know, right? I know. We still got a couple minutes before we ask the question. The question. So the last thing is, one of the things that we talked about was you've been on LinkedIn since it started. Yeah. So, and as you've seen, it is now people are starting to take it seriously. So, it's somewhat, I guess. I think I know there's a conversation is it turning into a professional Facebook now, where people are like, ooh, how many likes and comments did I get? So
I think that's the problem. People are looking for comments, they're looking for likes, they're looking for exposure. If you want exposure, you want likes, go to Instagram, go to Facebook. Yeah. In LinkedIn, for me, it is a bit of a dating site for professionals. Yeah. You're looking for that match. But I'm not talking about that you want to go take her home after the first date. Do you know what I mean? Okay. You want to take these people out for coffee. You want to wine and dine them. You want to see your interests. You want to see how the two of you can come together and what can flower out of that kind of relationship, almost like you and I have. Clubhouse is very much like that at the moment. It's about blossoming. It's like nurturing the relationships. So yeah, I've got 9,500 people on my LinkedIn that I'm with. That's nothing compared to other people with 15, 16, 17,000. And I went through a stage where I would just accept everyone. That's now slowed down because I'm looking to get what I post on LinkedIn is very professional, very business-like. Is to gain attraction for people to see how I can better their life. And that's what I looked at from LinkedIn before and as well. And I'm starting to lose a lot of my connections on purpose, my followers, because I don't really care what the 2 divided by 0 times 3 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of value you adding to your community,
Yeah.
what kind of value I'm adding to my community. And those kind of sums don't add value. So there's no point in putting them on.
Yeah. And I just started kind of getting to that point as well, is like, I don't just request, or I don't accept it. And if you send me a connection request without a personal note, then I ask, how can I help you? Like, what was the purpose of you adding me? Like, what is there? Did you see something on my profile? And like, if you don't respond, then I could remove the connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like you said, it's got to be value based, especially with the stuff that I'm doing with like the LinkedIn military and stuff like that. Like, I want people who want to bring value to especially that community, because that has become somewhat a part of my brand. Is through the education that I'm getting, I then want to give that education to my fellow military members.
And that's what it is. It's being able to have that value and be able to see, well, this person's going to add value to his community. I want to be a part of that. I want to grow with them. I want to be on his journey. And that's what LinkedIn's supposed to be advocating. And it went through a stage where it was horrendous. It sort of dialed back a wee bit. I see it becoming a little bit more business orientated again. And I think it's turned that corner. It's decided where it wants to be. And that's why a lot more people are jumping on LinkedIn now, because they weren't quite sure where it was going to be. And nor did LinkedIn, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you guys want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know.
Let's just leave it to the people.
Yes. Leave it to the people. Let the waterfall decide. Let the
the
tugboats of the community go. let them pull us in. So as we near the end, there's 2 major questions that we like to ask people. So and your answer will be so relevant because of you starting your company at the beginning of COVID. But the first one is, what advice do you have for the folks who are either trying to start in a recruiting career in general, whether it's go work for an agency or, maybe go independently, but also for those that want to go independently, what advice would you give somebody who wants to do that?
I think the first one for anyone who wants to get into recruitment, if you're doing it for the money, don't. Because you have to sacrifice so much more than what the money's worth. Go sell houses, go sell cars, because you sort of get put into that same reputation. Once you tell people in recruitment in the beginning, you feel as if you get made to feel as if you're worth nothing.
You're like,
if you come into it with the right value, with the right mindset, that you're wanting to change people's lives, that you wanted to change your life, you want to buy your first house, you want to buy your first car, you want to improve your life while improving other people's lives, then do it, because after 20 years, I still love it. I still love recruitment. If you want to go independent, you got to make sure that you love recruitment. I would never suggest anyone go straight into recruitment and then go independent, because what you think you know about life is completely different. You've got to understand, you've got to have a business plan. You've got to understand how business works. You've got to understand how tax works. You've got to understand that there's going to be the tax man after you. You're going to get calls. And especially if you're going to bring someone on, your responsibility to others grows so much more. And it is bored. You can sit at a screen for 8-10 hours a day and not look at anyone, and you become almost enclosed. And if you ever think about a lion that gets caught in the wild and that gets put in the cage, you sort of get that mentality where the wild sort of leaves your eyes and you're starting to die off in a corner. You've got to be self-motivated. You've got to be self-driven. You've got to have determination to see that brick and go, if I make this one more call, it could be worth $10,000, $5,000, but I've got to make that one call. How do I drive myself to make that call? It's all about drive. It's all about determination and faith in yourself.
Fire.
Fire in the belly. Fire in the belly.
From Matt the Tugboat Steedman.
That used to be my cricket name, believe it or not.
Was it really?
Oh, wow.
Yes. Done. You know what? That means that's you're validated now. That you're
Tugboat.
I can see it now. He had tugboat on his jersey.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna put that on my LinkedIn.
I have a meeting with a woman today, and her thing is the raccoon trainer.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
but I think she's like a recruiter. I don't know. I'll send you the screenshot of it.
Yeah, do that.
But all right, and so our last question is: when you hear the phrase, the name of the show, "Scared money don't make money," what does that mean to you? And this is Roy's favorite question, so don't disappoint him, Matt.
Scary money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money.
Don't run away. Don't be scared to pick up the phone. You've got to believe in yourself. Personally, that's what I think it means: is believe in your ability, believe in yourself, make that call. If you're scared, if you don't want to do it, then you'll never make the money. So personally, for me, without the phone, you're never going to make money. Don't be scared to pick up the phone. Don't be scared to make that next call.
Simple yet effective.
I was just like, it's so simple. It's so simple yet powerful. And we are now at, guess, I don't know what number we're at because I don't know how to count. 28.
That's number 28.
And it was still on a track record of nobody has the same answer.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep. 28 guests, and everybody has given a unique answer.
Phenomenal.
And no one's taking the easy way out. Well, obviously, scared money, they're not going to make any money if you're scared.
yeah.
I think we're always expecting that. So
no such thing as easy money, I can tell you. That's it.
Easy money.
Yep. No, I agree. And that's I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and it was, like with the guests, the same thing, like people like, oh, how did you talk to this person? Or how'd you get this person on the phone? And I'm like, I just picked up the phone and I called them and I said, hey, let's talk. Or, I sent them a Facebook message. Hey, let's talk. So I'm going to write a book. It's going to be called How to Network. And the first person only page is going to say, pick up the phone or message them. Let's talk.
Hey, it'd be like the old school infomercials that used to come on at like 2:00 in the morning. Be like, pick up the phone. Yeah. I don't know if you ever seen.
So I'm gonna make a TikTok video, right? It's gonna be my first one, and it's gonna be have you heard that song "Pick Up the Phone" by Young Thug?
Yep.
Okay, that's what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be about sales, right? It's gonna be me like dialing the phone number. Yeah, it's gonna be me dialing the phone, and then it's gonna be like, pick up the phone, baby. It's gonna be like when you're calling clients or when you're calling prospects. Pick up the phone.
Oh man, I can't wait to see that video.
So that's gonna be my first TikTok video. Watch out for it. Look it up. People person cam on TikTok. But so as we're about to end, Matt, this is your opportunity to promote yourself, promote your business, let people know where to find you, what services you offer. So yeah, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, so my name is Matt Steedman. I am the managing director of Protea Recruitment, which is www.protearecruitment.com. I specialize within food and drinks manufacturing, from senior members and above. I get to promote my business, but I like to promote recruitment rather. Guys, if you're wanting to change people's lives and you're doing it for the right reasons, go for it, because we need more good people out there.
Yep, for sure. Roy, I don't know, maybe he took a phone call.
I'm here.
Ending comments, sir. I always forget to ask you.
Ending comments. Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I've had an ending comment. I don't even know what to say now. You know what? Just pick up the phone. That's one. Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, and just that level of understanding. Try to understand your client to the best of your ability, and understand your fan base, and you'll be okay.
Oh, he's a man of few words.
Yep. Normally I talk a lot.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Scare Money Don't Make Money. Matt, we appreciate you, sir.
Really enjoyed it.
As always, you got a big head. And we will see y'all later.